The ICERIVER AL0 is finally here. Thank you so much to ICERIVER for sending me this review unit over. It's supposed to arrive on Friday. DHL showed up. I wasn't home for 30 minutes. They didn't leave it at my door. So here it is. Better late than never. In this video, I'm going to unbox it. I'm going to show you the AL0 itself. We're going to go over the hardware a little bit. Then I'm going to quickly show you what it looks like set up. There will not be a setup guide in this video. This video assumes that you either know how to set it up, or if you want to set it up, you want a more in-depth guide. So I will be releasing a setup video simultaneously with this video as well. And then we're just going to talk about the profitability of this thing. And finally, I'm going to tell you what I like and what I don't like from a hardware standpoint. And then I'm going to tell you my opinion of this and if you should buy it or not. So without further ado, let's get to it. So thank you to ICERIVER for sponsoring this video and sending me over the AL0 to review. You can buy any Lithium or Caspa ASICs on their store, and they had a massive price discount on Lithium or on Caspa ASICs. Obviously, the Caspa hash rate has gone through the roof. You can look at an ICERIVER KS0 Ultra as basically a bit axe right now that uses a little bit more power, but has a higher likelihood to find Caspa blocks. So it could be the perfect Christmas gift for the holidays coming up. And you can also buy the AL0 for $800, and you can get a power supply as well with it. Please use code Krootman for 2.5% off Caspa or Lithium ASICs and 1.5% off Caspa ASICs. So thank you again to ICERIVER for sponsoring this video, and please use code Krootman to save a little bit of money on these ASICs. And here it is, the AL0. I'm actually kind of glad I got it a day late so that I could give you guys the accurate profitability for this thing now and give you my thoughts on it. So how we're going to do this ASIC review, and we're going to start doing all of them like this. We're going to go over hardware. We're going to go over how you should set it up briefly. Got another video that's a setup guide later. And then we'll talk about potential profitability, and then I'll give you my final opinion on A, the hardware of the hardware and the ASIC itself, and B, whether or not I think you should buy it. Now, ICERIVER supplied me a unit with a power supply, and it looks like I opened it upside down. So that was cool. So you might want to see what the top and what the bottom is. It's just your typical I guess small ICEC line. They sent me a power brick, 120 watt power brick. So that's cool. Pull this baby out. It's a little bit of a pain to get out. You honestly could not tell this thing from a KS0. It is identical. In fact, let me get a KS0 and you can see that they are exactly the same, and you wouldn't be able to tell unless you had the sticker. And that's it for the unboxing. It's no frills, nothing new. So let me show you what it looks like set up in my shed. So here is the AL0 set up in all its glory. You can see I have a Noctua fan for above it because it gets a little hot in my shed, and if the KS0 Ultra is anything to go off of, this fan helped it get to around the 70 C range where you wanted it to be. Now, we do not know if the AL0 likes to be run a little hotter, so we're just speculating based on the KS0 Ultra. Now, it is getting plugged in with a Veteran Miner barrel cable. Shout out to him for supplying this, and he even used a green one for the color of my channel. You can get these from his site, which I'll have a link down below, and you can use Krootman for 10% off. I like these better than laptop bricks because I don't have to worry about cooling the laptop brick because I'm a little paranoid like that, and I can use a certain server power supply for multiple different ASICs, which helps conserve space and saves money on plugs as well. So here it is, and let's go show you what it looks like in the GUI. It's been running for about an hour right now, and I'll show you what the results look like. Alright, so my AL0 has been on for about 90 minutes. I'm on Viper Pool, Viper.net. They're a good friend of the channel, and it's a pool that I like, and I trust the pool operators as much as you can trust someone you've never met before. So I would recommend using them, and I've spoken to them, and they said that their pool works great with the AL0, and they adjust the difficulty for you so that you don't have to. Another thing I want to show you is if you look at my hash rate, it's floating around the over 4 gigahash. Now, obviously it'll fluctuate, but I think as long as it gets above, say, on average, about 390 gigahash, I'll be pretty happy with that. We don't know the sweet spot for the AL0 in terms of cooling to performance yet, but I know that I'm consistently getting above 4 gigahash on my KS0 Ultra since I've owned it for about 2 months now, and I'm just going to replicate the setup with my AL0 as you've already seen, and I would assume I would get very similar results, and I will keep you posted in a later video. So now you can see it in the GUI, and you can see what I'm estimated to make in 24 hours, which is 2.4 lithium or $4.63 as of the time of this filming. So let's move on to talking about the profitability of this thing and what my opinion is of the miner as a whole. Alright guys, so now that we've looked at the hardware, I've shown you how it's set up in my shed, let's talk about the thing you all want to know: profitability, potential ROI, and my opinion of this miner. The network went absolutely bonkers today, which is kind of funny because it seems like Bitmain basically turned on a bunch of the AL1s and the AL1 pluses today, as the network hash rate went from about 3.2 petahash. I remember this because I filmed a video earlier today on a different ASIC, to 6.55 petahash. So in a week it's doubled, and basically in a day it's doubled as well, taking your profitability from about $7, which is what ASIC miner value showed at 13 cents kilowatt hours, which is my power rate, to about $4.91, or more importantly, a yield of 2.72 lithium. Now, if you are buying an lithium ASIC, or you bought an lithium ASIC, then you knew that this was going to happen when you bought it. You knew these things were not going to make $12 a day that all the calculators had shown when you bought this thing, because the AL1s were announced beforehand, and a bunch of tweets and a bunch of information leaked weeks ago that the first batch was about 300 AL1s, which was going to give us at least a doubling to tripling of the network hash rate. I predicted about 5.5 to 6 petahash. And that's what you should have calculated for debating whether or not you wanted to buy an AL0. Now, if you did that, then you probably calculated that you were going to get between 2 to 3 lithium for the first, hopefully, 2 months or so, right? So if we go off, say, the current yield, which is this going to last or not? I honestly don't know, but you gotta do some kind of guess, right? So you're going to do 2.75, and you're going to times that by 60, and that's going to give you 165 lithium, which 165 lithium right now is basically worth $314. So obviously, if you bought one of these ASICs, you cannot sell your lithium, or you are going to lose your face. Assuming that you believe the price is going to go up and go up quite a bit like Kaspa did around this time. I think Kaspa went between 6 and 8x. So if you think the price of a lithium is going to 3x because you believe it's going to follow Kaspa's trends, and I think Kaspa went almost 6x, frankly, around between this time and November of last year. So if you believe that, right, then your yield goes from 165 to 495. I'm only doing that to show a 3x increase, and that basically ROIs you or breaks you even, and then the rest of whatever you get is profit. Is that really that far-fetched? No, I don't believe it is. And remember, the later you buy it, the less lithium you get, and the higher you're going to need the price to appreciate. If you pre-ordered one of these and you're getting them now, you only need it basically to 3x, assuming you can get about 165 lithium in the first 2 months, which honestly isn't that bad, and it makes buying these or have bought these a lot easier to swallow. And frankly, you're really only risking the price of a GPU and the power to go with it, which isn't that big of a risk when you look and you consider how much GPUs are making right now. Guys, this is a lot different than Kaspa. While the network is going really high, we still have quite a bit of price appreciation left to go for lithium, especially if these companies like Bitmain and ICERIVER want to keep, and Goldshell as well, want to keep selling a lithium ASICs. Now, I am going off of the assumption that a lithium will behave similar to Kaspa. This is not financial advice, and I could absolutely be wrong. I actually released a few videos saying that Kaspa ASICs were dead, and you shouldn't buy them around this time last year, after basically I got my 3KS zeros in and I told everybody they were going to lose their face. And of course, literally 3 weeks later, I was wrong, and all of my Caspa ASICs ROI'd within less than 2 months of having purchased them, which is kind of crazy to think about, and that's been a year ago. Which leads me to the question, should you buy these things or not? Well, as far as the hardware goes, I think that these are great pieces of hardware. I think that they are very efficient. They are the most efficient miners out there, and it's been shown that they have the same efficiency as the Bitmain ASICs. And efficiency is important to keep your ASICs on the network as long as possible. I think that they are quiet. I think that they are easy to set up, and you can store them anywhere. And they even generate a little bit of heat, so you can move them into, say, an office or something when it gets colder and you need a little bit of heat. And as far as my power rate of 13 cents kilowatt hour, they only cost about $9 to $10 a month. So the initial cost of $800 plus shipping plus the power supply, so you're probably looking at like $900 plus $10 a month in power, is honestly not that high, not that risky if you truly believe in lithium. But you have to truly believe in lithium, and you have to be comfortable with the risk of buying ASICs. You know, this is coming from someone who just got burned on a Caspa ASIC last month. You're going to hit on some, you're going to lose on others. Nobody saw the Caspa hash rate going to the moon, and it doesn't look like a lithium that will happen either, as of now anyway, but you never know. We didn't think it would happen with Caspa 2 months ago, and here we are. So should you buy an ICERIVER AL0? Well, it depends on whether or not you want to be a home ASIC miner, and if you believe in a lithium. If you believe in a lithium, then I definitely think you should buy it, as the risk is pretty low. And besides Ethash ASICs and some script ASIC, a lithium is one of the only ASIC mineable coins that you can actually mine in the house, since we just lost Caspa. But again, you have to understand all the risks that come along with it. The hash rate could go way higher than we thought, like it did with Caspa. I don't think it will, but I am not an expert. So you just have to understand that, and the price of a lithium could not go up. You know, if you're buying this ASIC, like I said, you're banking on a lithium hitting $6 to $7. Will it happen? None of us know, but we're all certainly banking on it. Alright guys, so thank you for watching this video. Thank you to ICERIVER for sponsoring this video. And if you want to buy one of their ASICs from their site, a lithium or a Caspa ASIC, please use code Krootman for 2.5% off on a lithium ASIC and 1.5% off Caspa ASICs. Link will be down below. So thank you again for watching this video. I'll have a link to some other reviewers' videos like Red Panda and Greater Good Mining. Check those out. And then I'll show my ASIC setup guide down below as well. Alright guys, that's it for now. See you on the flip side, and please like and subscribe.